Hey, happy snow day, Baker Art friends. Today I thought it might be fun while you're at home and since it's snowy that we make some snowflakes. But these are snowflakes that aren't in the traditional sense. They're a little bit different. But the cool thing is that they only still require just some printer paper from your printer or copy paper, just the thin 8.5 by 11 paper. You're just going to need a glue stick and a pencil, and another sort of interesting thing that we're going to need is a stapler. Okay, so if you want to go grab those things, we'll get started. All right guys, so what we're going to do first is we're going to take this 8.5 by 11 piece of paper and we're going to place it horizontally on our table or work surface. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring over the right hand corners to the left hand corners and match them up. Okay, and then what I like to do is hold that, and then I'm going to do the old, use my pointer finger to make the crease, slide up, slide down. Okay, and then what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing this. So now we're going to then bring over the right hand corners again, match them up. Okay, I'm holding with my left hand, I'm swiping over, making that crease, then I'm swiping up and I'm swiping down. We're going to do it one more time. So we're going to bring the, it's going to get a little trickier. And if you need to maybe hold it this way now, so we're going to bring the top or the bottom up to the top corners. And as we do that, then we're just going to slide and slide. Okay, so now I have this sort of piece of paper. It's all folded up. And I'm going to just give it a good crease with my fingers. Okay, so go ahead and do that. And then we'll go on to the next step once you have that done. All right, guys, now what we're going to do is we're going to unfold our paper. Okay, and let's count how many sections does our paper have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So your paper should be divided into 8 equal parts. Okay, the snowflake we're making today has 8 points, but traditional real snowflakes only have 6 points. But just this is still going to be fun. And so now that we have we figured out that we have 8 equal parts, what we're going to do is this. We're going to turn our paper so that it's vertically, okay? And you'll see that this bottom one wants to fold up like this, okay? So that's fine. So, but now what we're going to do is we're going to do something where this one's going to fold up, but then we're going to turn our paper over, all right? And then we're going to fold the next fold up. So we're folding alternately, kind of like an accordion. So now that I folded this one up, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to flip my paper, and then I'm going to fold that one up. So we're starting to make this little accordion. Then I'm going to flip. This one comes up. Flip. This one comes up. Flip. This one is up. And then I'm going to flip, and then this one comes up. So now, if you unfolded your paper, you're going to see, if you did it correctly, your paper should be able to sit like this. And you should see 1, 2, 3, 4 creases. It's sort of like an accordion. Then just going to fold it back together again. Okay? Then once you have that, what we're going to do is we're going to fold this in half. So we're going to bring the bottom up to the top, and we're going to fold it. All right, so now I have something that kind of looks like this. So go ahead, fold your paper, and then we'll move on to the next step in a minute. All right, guys, now what we're going to do is, now that we have this folded up like this, what we're going to do is we're going to be drawing some lines that are going to make some shapes that we're going to end up cutting away from the paper, okay? What I'm going to do first, though, is have you guys kind of look. You can kind of see how long this is. Roughly, we're just going to roughly take our pencil, and I'm not going to draw very heavily, but I'm going to try to find roughly the middle here, okay? So the first line that we're going to draw is a vertical line down, but we're not going to go exactly to the middle there. So we're just going to, and what I like to do is I'm just going to lightly sketch it, okay? And then the next line we're going to draw is a diagonal line where, see this corner here? We want to leave, we don't want the line to go to that corner. We want to leave, we want to move over a little bit. So sometimes what I like to do is if I put a mark there, then I know I want to draw from here to there. Okay, so there's that. Then the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to come down just a little bit, maybe to about here, and I'm going to start again to do a diagonal line. And you notice, see how now I'm creating sort of this, like this, and then I'm going to then put a little mark down here, so again I have a little bit of space there. So I've made sort of this diamond shape. Okay, so I've got triangle, diamond, okay. Then over on this side, kind of across from where I did this one, I'm going to do another diagonal line, and I'm going to come in, and then I'm going to do another diagonal line. So it almost looks like a Christmas tree. So it's like doot, 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 up like that. Here, Mrs. Herbay is gonna have, let me just erase this for a second. Gonna make sure this comes. So there we go. Okay, so you should have a shape that looks like this. All right, then the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut out the parts that we're going to cut out are, and I'll kind of shade it. So we're going to cut out this part, we're going to cut out this part, this shape, and this shape. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to try to hold our paper together. We're going to take our scissors, and what we're going to do is we're going to cut along there, and then I'm going to rotate the paper, and then I'm going to hold it here like this. And I'm going to cut along there, trying to be careful. That shape isn't quite coming out, so I'm going to do a little more cutting in there. And there we go. It is out. So these shapes are all done now. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut this one. So I'm going to cut in. And again, it's maybe a little stuck in there, so I'm going to just carefully got that piece out. This piece is easy because I'm just cutting off the corner, okay? And then I cut in there. And in there. Okay, so now I have this. Okay, and if it opened up, it would look like that. Okay, so go ahead, cut out those shapes, and then we will go on to the next step. All right, guys, so now we're going, this is where we need our stapler. And you can see this fold line right here. I'm gonna put a sort of a pencil line right there so you guys can see it a little bit more. And this is where we're going to put our stapler, or staple. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna grab my stapler and I'm just gonna slide it in. And you can see I'm looking to see that the end of the stapler is lined up with that line. And there, I've stapled it together. Okay? Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of fan this open and you're gonna see, wow, check that out, right? There's our design. And then I'm gonna kind of fan it out down here as well. Okay, so now how do we get this to look like a real snowflake, or like a sort of like a real snowflake? So what we're gonna do is where this fold is, where this open edge is, what we're gonna do is we're gonna take our glue stick and we're just gonna put a little bit of glue, not on the whole side, but just kind of right in at the bottom here by this shape. So this, we're gonna put a little glue right here. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just kind of bring these two sides together. Oops, you wanna line up those shapes. So I'm lining up those shapes. And voila, that side's glued together. Then I'm going to do the same thing over on this side. We're going to put a little bit of glue right here. And then I'm going to line up these two shapes. Okay. Now here's the deal. We've got this inside part now glued, but we still have some edges that aren't together. So you'll notice here I have two open edges right here. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit of glue on the end right here, and then I'm going to just, it's almost like bring these together like this, so they're meeting up. They're giving each other a high five. Ta-da! So now I've connected that side. And then over here I see there's two loose ends over here too, and they need to give each other a high five as well. So I'm going to put some glue here. And bring them together. Okay, so now check it out. I have this really cool snowflake. Now here's where you can have some fun with this. What you can do is you can add some shapes onto the ends of your snowflake. So what you can do is, let's say for example, I want to add a triangle onto the end of these guys here. So what I can do is I'm gonna need 8 of them. So in order to make sure that they're all the same size, what I can do is I'm gonna fold my paper in half, and then I'm gonna fold it in half again, like we did before, but this time I'm going to fold it up like this. Okay. And then what I can do is I can draw a bunch of shapes on here. So maybe I want to draw a triangle. Maybe you could take the end of your glue stick. Maybe I want to draw a circle. Maybe I want to try a different type of triangle. It's longer. Okay, so you can decide, and then what you're going to do is we're going to cut these out. But the cool thing about this is now I'm going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So now I have 8 of these that can go on the other end of my the points of my snowflake. I can also cut out, if I wanted to, I could cut out this circle. So now I've got 8 circles. And then what happens is the 2 pieces will come apart as you cut them out, but if you just kind of line them back up, and then okay, so now I've got all these shapes here. So what I can do is I'm going to bring my snowflake back, and what I can do is I can decide, how do I want to decorate it? So maybe I want to put a triangle on the end of all of these points. So I'll put a little bit of glue here, and then I'll stick 1. Whoops, didn't have quite enough glue. There's 1. Two. Three. 4. 'So let's see, I've got to put 1 here. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then I can't really put it on these ones because these ones are kind of glued together, but that's okay. And then we could even do, let's say I want to put circles on the end of these points. So I can, again, I'm going to put some glue there. So there's 1. Two. 3. 4. 5. Almost there. We're on 6. Oops. 7, and last but not least, 8. So there you have it. There is my snowflake. You could poke a hole in one of the ends and use a string and hang it up in your house. The other cool thing is, if you'd like, make a bunch of them. Experiment around with what the different, maybe try, instead of drawing the pattern that Mrs. Herbay drew, try drawing some different lines and cutting and see what happens and experiment around. So I hope you guys have a fun snow day, and I'll look forward to seeing you this week.